Welcome to Fantasy Hockey Picks and Bets, presented by Prize Picks on the Mayo Media Network. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell. We're going to talk about the April 27th NHL action. DJ, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend was pretty good. The Sabres won a game, amazingly. I actually watched a lot of a few of the games, a lot of the highlights. It was a good time. We're only down to a couple of weeks of full slates left. So, we gotta get after it. We gotta get some money going into the playoffs. And then that's where I know that we're going to rake in really all the cash right there. So Matt, how are you feeling? How was your weekend? And how are you feeling about Tuesday's slate?
No, I'm doing all right. I had a good weekend. I got my second vaccine. So, I'm free to roam the world, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm feeling great actually as well. So I was sort of, a bit worried, but we can move on from that.
It was a weird feeling to be like, am I going to be sick or not? Like, I feel like I definitely could. I got like Gatorade and like a bunch of stuff. Like, don't be sick, please. So,
like DJ, I'm paying some homage with my attire. So get over to the YouTube channel if you want. Just shouting out the Oakland A's. I think they capped off a 13-game win streak with a loss on a Sunday. But,
to the Baltimore Orioles, baby.
That's right.
The mean street.
That's right. And then I got some, we got Jack. I actually need a shirt that says we got Sam on it because, Samson's out here just, cracking skulls. So, DJ's out here repping the Sabres as well.
50-year anniversary jersey, Rasmus Dahlin. Pretty
very
cool.
nice. Very good stuff. We do have 8 games here to talk about on Tuesday. But first, I do want to talk to you about Prize Picks. Make sure you head on over to prizepicks.com. Use the promo code MMN, is in Mayo Media Network, when you sign up. What you do on Prize Picks, it's simple. You can pick up to 5 over-unders. There's players listed across all the sports. Of course, we focus on hockey here, so be sure to check out on the Twitter, our favorite Prize Picks for the night. But you can pick from MLB, NBA, NHL, even one of DJ's favorites, disc golf. Basically, you just go over there, you pick up to 5 players, and you win up to 10x your money. Really, it's a lot of fun, so I highly recommend you do it and use promo code MMN when you sign up. But I know, DJ, you were looking through some of these disc golf, looking through the board there.
Yeah, let me tell you right now, if you need a quick lightening up of your day, some of these names just over on the disc golf. We have an Eagle McMahon, over 60.5 fantasy points. Awesome. There's no way he doesn't. I don't know anything about disc golf. I've never watched it. I don't even know if you can watch it. Obviously 64 fantasy points for Brody Smith, the ringleader of disc golf, the
wonderkind. He joined at 11 years old.
No, that was Eagle McMahon. Yeah, it's like Eagle McMahon joined in 2011, and he's 23 now. So riddle me that one. Disc golf, what a sport! You could be, just hitting puberty and just dominating the circuit.
Look, here's the thing about Prize Picks. Where else are you going to be able to go to your family, your significant other, and say, "Hey, I doubled my money because Eagle McMahon." There's the pitch.
That's it. That's the whole thing. And they're going to be so confused.
And anyway, if you've been following along with, Meany and the guys on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, obviously us as well, you've gotten some pretty good picks over the course of the season. So, check out our Twitter again, at Mayo Media Net for our picks on the Tuesday slate. But really, we just highly encourage you to check out the website. It's really fun. It's really easy to use. And use promo code MMN when you sign up. So DJ, let's get out of that and over into the NHL slate. I don't want to.
I just want to talk about. Imagine the sweat on whatever night they finish a round of disc golf. I actually get really excited about the idea. I really want to do this now. Just get really intensely. Get a group of 5 people and just be like, all right, let's get 100 beers and watch disc golf and just bet on it and just have a good time. I'm so in for that.
Here's actual advice. If you are just getting into sports betting or, fantasy or anything like that, finding a niche sport is 100% better than going into already liquidated markets. So things like baseball, NFL, NBA, they're so not solved, but they're so advanced. I promise you, if you actually grind an edge on disc golf, you will be able to profit on it. And that is my actual financial advice. So if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. I guarantee you'll be, actually able to be sharper than the books, let's say, if you can find some good info and do stuff with it. But anyway,
there's no way they know. Okay, yeah, let's we look at 8 games, so I thought we could get a little fun off the start. But yeah, we started off here. Islanders at Capitals. Now, this is one of many rematches that we've seen in the very recent past. The Capitals went for 6 goals against the Islanders, 6-4 on Saturday. Mm-hmm. I think that was the final. I know, Matt, you had a couple nice little takes from the game that didn't amount to much. So I want to start there. Let's recap that last game. Let me just hear how you had some strong action.
Oh, yeah. So look, no Ovechkin. We're also anticipating he'll be out on Tuesday. We don't have firm word as of Monday, so keep an eye on morning skate and keep up to date. But Daniel Sprong was a direct replacement on the top line, playing for Kuznetsov and Tom Wilson. So, I was feeling ambitious, and I'm like, hey, look, Sprong is like $3K. I'm just going to jam him in. I'm going to play Kuznetsov, and I'm just going to see what happens because I like some of the underlying numbers, and some of this is a preview of tonight as well. And Sprong did the thing. He scored a goal. He only had 2 shots, but he scored both of them. Yeah, I was kicking myself because I was in like a dynasty playoff, and I was picking up a guy for Saturday night. And I was like, can I do Sprong? Like, am I that old? And I picked up some other idiot like Alex Iafallo or something. And of course, Sprong goes out and scores twice. Luckily, Tristan Jarry got a shutout on Sunday, or else I was packing my bags and going home. So, definitely feeling good about Daniel Sprong here, though, again on Tuesday night. So my thoughts on this game, of course, assuming Ovechkin doesn't play, is that I think there's a lot of value in this game from a betting and a DFS standpoint. Like, I actually do think that despite the 1-0 game this team played, 2 games ago now, like that was really, really, let's just call it a sludge match. The rest of the matchups between these 2 teams have actually been really, really solid. So I'm sort of leaning toward the over here. And I do minorly shaded toward the Capitals side of things. But again, Daniel Sprong is probably my favorite guy to just sort of go back on in DFS. Like, why not? I mean, he's playing with Kuznetsov. He's getting second power play time. And Tom Wilson, the third guy on that line, was the guy who slid onto the top power play unit. So, like, there's your news right there. Anything on the Islanders side that you have, DJ?
I mean, if you watch the game or are checking right now and saying, well, the Islanders actually had 3 goals, Pavillier had a real nice one there on the power play. So he had 4 shots and a goal, was on the first power play unit. So I think if you're going with Islanders, Pavillier at 3,800 is kind of a nice little piece there. He played with Peugeot and Bailey. Yeah. Neither of them correlated on the power. Oh, Peugeot did. Peugeot was on the power play. I think Peugeot scored. Did he score on the power play, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Peugeot, but I think that there's value on the Islanders. Again, like it seems like every slate that's been kind of a running trend. But I do think Pavillier is a decent little play here, especially if you like this over and think the Islanders are in a good bounce back spot, which, you look at the books right now, it's pretty much a pick 'em. The Islanders minus 103, the Capitals minus 114. It could go either way. And I think the over is fine here. I'm probably not going to bet it myself, but getting some of this cheaper Islanders action, especially like Peugeot and Pavillier, that's really cheap, power play 1, and with our boy Pulock, I believe.
No, it's Dobson.
No, it's Dobson. Actually. Oh my God. Yeah, Dobson 17 minutes. I really thought Pulock got back on that first unit. No, of course not. So Dobson at just over minimum salary, 2,700.
Yeah, I mean,
it's something else to look at. And Dobson actually hit No, he did hit the shot bonus the other night. He hit 4. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this from like a shot prop perspective, and I'm thinking that Beauvillier is a guy who you should be able to find. I really like his over, and I'm taking a stab at John Carlson. Like, you can get him on DraftKings. I think that his shot over is a really nice bet. Without Ovechkin in the lineup, it's just of course they're going to have to feed John Carlson more, and he should be the primary focal point on the power play. It's TJ Oshie and Tom Wilson as the other right-handed shots. Like, TJ Oshie's a good player, but he's not taking one-timers like Ovi does. Like, Carlson, I think, is the best suited guy to do that. And so I do like the pace here. Obviously, Carlson can get there at 5-on-5, and he has a good run against them from the first 5 games or whatever this year. The last couple haven't been so great against the Islanders. But Carlson, lit them up early in the season. So I'm more than happy to sort of go back there in terms of shot props and anything else. Any other bets or players you wanted to call out here, or can we move on?
I think we can definitely move on, but like you said, Sprong plus 460 to score.
Yeah,
Like if you,
that's nice.
That is, I mean, it's like Michael Raffle and just I don't even know, like guys that are like Andrew. I don't even think he's on. Like he's like
pop quiz for the listener. Like, yeah. Did you know Michael Raffle was on the Washington Capitals?
Survey says,
deadline.
He had like a lot of minutes. I feel like he had like a fair amount. What do you have? 16,
maybe.
He doesn't shoot. I'm just saying, like. But
again, who's out here? Who's out here spending their Saturday nights watching Islanders Capitals? I don't know. I preferred the Florida game, Florida Carolina myself. That was a barn burner. Anyway, let's go over to Philly at New Jersey. The Philly capping off a real big comeback on Sunday night, scoring 2 goals late to force overtime, in which they then won in a shootout, I believe. But anyway, Philly minus 130 on the road, taking on this New Jersey team that is, let me check my notes, awful. They're awful. Minus 130 on the Flyers is a joke. I get the Flyers themselves are a joke, but when they're getting like poor goaltending, like that's a step up for them. They're so much better than the Devils here. I'm sorry. I think the Philly money line is one of my favorite bets here on the night. Like minus 130 is just no respect at all. And I'm not here for it. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the Flyers seem like a pretty safe and good bet here. The Devils have sort of turned it on as I think
get it. Get it.
But
Flyers suck.
Yeah, the Flyers. I really just think that like this game has so much DFS goodness to it that I'm like really focused on this from a DFS perspective, and I'm going to kind of let that drive what's going to end up being more of what I'm going to look at for bets. Just on this slate in general, though, Couturier, as far as iCourse for per game, is right up there in the top 10. Just tied with Barkov. Just a little bit below Robertson and Dougie Hamilton. So like he's been shooting a ton, playing against the Devils in a 6.5. Like for every reason possible, all of his props are in play. He's a really good. He's 7K on DraftKings. They have him at freaking plus 205 to score. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that crazy with it. Like I don't know if it's worth it, but like you get him in a parlay to get a point, or maybe even the shot prop, which I think it'll be 2.5, and you just jam that up. And I think that is like the easiest way of going about this game. Jack Hughes on the other side is the clear-cut best player for the Devils. He's hit his shot prop in, I think, 8 consecutive games now, and I see no reason in a 6.5 against the Flyers that he won't hit it here.
Right.
It's just easy money bet. The odds are getting worse, but if you're making parlays and you're trying to win a big prize, there's 2 here that I think are super strong. Jack Hughes is still, you're thinking like he's got to be near the top now to score. Not still 270. Like we were playing it at plus 400 all day. I think we can still play it here for sure. 5,500 on DraftKings too, so a nice savings off of some of the upper price guys. For the Devils, last thing is that their first power play was Will Butcher, with other guys out, Smith and PK Subban. So Butcher 3,900.
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely like a lot of what you're saying. I love John Couturier for the reasons you're mentioning. His shot prop, I think, would be the sort of one from this game I take away, though Jack Hughes, I think, does make sense. I mean, he's been crushing it. But the 6.5, I actually am shading a little bit toward the under. I'll admit this game does have monster upside. Of course, it could finish 5-4, and I think DFS, it'll be low owned enough to the point where you could actually sort of get over on this game without being having it a huge part of your night or whatever. But I do kind of shade the under. And I mean, I'm looking at these to score props and it almost backs me up. Like the most likely player to score a goal in this game is Joel Farabee at plus 170. And the game is a 6.5 total. So I feel like if you like the over here, you're probably liking some of these to score props. And of course, Couturier, Jack Hughes among those. If I had to pick one though, I think I'm going with Miles Wood. Plus 255 anytime goal. He's just on a run right now. Not just goals, he's shooting a ton. He's really driving the net. He's getting more opportunities as a result. So I do think that Miles Wood is a nice goal prop bet if you wanted to make that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of bets in general that I like here on both sides of the ledger.
Actually, one more thing, because first thing is I didn't note that Couturier said was over the last 10 games, that he's right around where Barkov is and stuff. The second thing is, you want to know, yeah, sorry, I did not say that. Number 2, who is number 2 on that list? In the last 10 games, Corsi 4 per 60 after Alexander Ovechkin, who's not going to play.
Jack Hughes.
It's Jack Hughes.
Yeah. He's been
just
awesome.
above Svechnikov and Kane. Again, these are only guys on this slate.
Over to the main event, though. We have the Buffalo Globetrotter Sabres taking on the New York Rangers. Buffalo, of course, led by superstar Sam Reinhart.
Mm-hmm. Who just needs 2 goals to tie Draisaitl, right?
Who just needs 2 goals to tie Leon Draisaitl. In the goal-scoring race. I say he does it.
I know you do.
But, anyway, Buffalo plus 245 here. The Rangers minus 295. I mean, what more is there to say? Zibanejad had a hat trick on Sunday, and it honestly felt like he could have had 6. That the Sabres will do that sometimes. And honestly, I will say that's part of how the coach wants to play. And that's something that I absolutely love. If it's not fun to, watch a losing team or whatever, but you know what else isn't fun? Watching a losing team that absolutely sucks to watch. The Sabres are fun to watch now. And that makes their betting, their everything else, that makes it very reliable. So when you're talking player props, I think that, guys like Zibanejad and Panarin, guys who'll be out there in great offensive situations, you don't really need to worry about the Sabres just going to pack it in and try to lose 1-0 like you did under Ralph Kruger. They're pushing the pace, and I think that allows, the Rangers, who are a great counterattack team, to sort of pick up some stats and whatnot. So, you don't need me to tell you that the Rangers are more than likely to win this game. I'm staying away from the money line, of course, minus 300. But I do think there's a lot to like here from a player prop standpoint. So anything jump out to you at first glance?
Yeah, I think that kind of the interesting thing as of right now, the Sabres plus 245, Sam Reinhart to score plus 245. I mean, what's more likely to happen? The Sabres win or Reinhart scores, or both? Matt.
It's a sign. It's a sign.
No. That just kind of was funny. They're the exact same. But yeah, no, I mean, I think what jumps off the page to me is kind of the over here, like you were already kind of alluding to with the pace and the back and forth. And it's almost certainly going to be UPL in net for the Sabres, who, in his first game out, first shot against him, gets by him, then he gets 40 saves and the win. So, good on him. Good to bounce back. He's 6,900 on DraftKings. So if you like the Sabres to have a chance in this one, he is probably a smash play at 6,900. But if, what could happen, and he gives up 5 or 6 goals, and it's very in their own possibilities. And I don't think he's gonna have a shutout here by any stretch, but just kind of feeds more into the over that I like here a lot. That's my favorite part.
We love shots on goal, that's what we love,
and we'll see a lot.
And that's what I think happens here. And of course, you can build around the goalie saves a bunch or the goalie lets in a bunch. One goal prop that I think is a little bit off is Chris Kreider at plus 128 right now. I mean, he's playing on the top power play, and I get that. It's always scary because he's not front. He can, bang home a rebound or whatever. But last time out, he was playing with Kakko and Filipino. And of course, those are 2 good players, but they're not Zibanejad. They're not Panarin. And so when you get a guy who's playing literally bottom 6 minutes at even strength at such insane odds, it's dicey. I don't think you have to do it, but I do think there is some value because his no on that, I think if you can shop around, it would be, minus 150, minus 160-ish. And that seems like, a decent enough bet given his, newfound second line or third line role. But of course you're fading a power play. That's, but Zibanejad's going to score all the power play goals anyway. So what am I even saying? It's a smash.
Are there any shot props you like here? I mean, I think we both like the pace. We both like the upside on the over. So there should be some props. I mean, Zibanejad probably be a 3.5. He had 7 last time out against the Sabres, and I think it's fair. Yeah,
Zibanejad's been at 2.5 lately, and it's been a pretty juiced number. But I did notice that because I snap betted on Friday. I think I was like, that's weird. So maybe given the Sabres matchup, it goes to 3.5, plus 130 or something. But I sort of think if you can shop around and find a 2.5, that's a great addition to any parlay or anything like that, even if it might be a bit juiced odds wise. So
I think
I do like that.
shot prop too. Like he should see at least 18 minutes.
Yeah.
With the power play
Two shots, 2 goals, it works. I'm not really that worried about him being a volume shooter or anything.
He has been as of late. That's the thing. Is like he actually has turned it on a bit. Like not anything that's crazy, but 5.2, I believe he has a side Corsi for in the past 10, which is the same as the Zibanejad in the past 10. Like he's been shooting a ton, so I don't see a reason why you couldn't do it. And I think you'll find that one on any site for Reinhardt, because who are they going to pick on the Sabres?
Right. That they're not going to offer like Jeff Skinner or whatever. So I get it.
No.
Okay. All right.
Is there anything else here? Unless we can move on to the big one, the rematch, the 1-0 rematch from Sunday night, Boston
the national television. Just the NHL putting out their,
NBC is trying to tank the sport now. So
that's true. Let's pour one out for NBC, no longer the TV partner of the NHL. Turner actually got announced along with ESPN, of course, which we knew. And I'm just here for Charles Barkley and Shaq talking about hockey. I don't know about you, but because I think combined, those two like hockey, like triple the amount of any combination of people who are on any NBC panel. Like those guys are just like, they just love to talk about how great the game was in the 70s. Like,
Jerry McGuire wants to talk about how great the game was for when they were 16 years old.
Yes, but, at the 5th grade, hockey circuit or whatever. Like, it's like I can do without NBC. I'm hopeful. Anyway. So we were talking about Boston at Pittsburgh. This game finished 1-0 on Sunday. Over-under set at 5.5. I'm sort of two minds about this, so I think I'm just staying away. But Boston's not playing their big guns at all, and in that case, I just kind of think Taylor Hall's been playing well, but who's scoring on the Boston side? If Paz is getting 16 minutes a night, not really sure. And then Pittsburgh, they've been playing pretty well defensively, so kind of like the under, but also Pittsburgh and 5.5 over-unders have not gone well historically for me. They always seem to go over. So that's sort of why I think I'm staying away from it. But do you have a lean here on Boston or Pittsburgh?
You know what the most amazing part about that game is that there was almost 0 penalty minutes. I'm pretty sure Boston took a penalty and Pittsburgh immediately took one back and ended up wiping it.
The play on the ice of that game was the equivalent of a kneel down.
And I feel like with the East, not completely wrapped up. The Rangers are fighting and clawing and doing their best they can, but pretty close. I just think, especially with these older teams like Boston and Pittsburgh, they're just not running the big guns. You look at the game; it was a 1-0 loss. Bergeron saw 15 minutes. They're down a goal, and they're just like, we'll let Lazar go out there.
All right, Sean Corrali, you got this. You got this, buddy.
It's just I'm just not touching that over under, because I do agree that they're maybe the tides could turn, and a 5.5 is just something that I'd rather have more fun than try to bet an under on a 5.5. That's just it could happen. I'm probably not touching either money line either. I think this is a true coin flip, and I don't really want to get involved. I guess I slightly would just lean with Boston, just because I think that this is an incredibly even matchup, and I'm just not that worried about them on the road, minus 104.
Yeah, that's fair. Small amount of value for a coin flip.
I honestly don't know if I like any real props here, because all of the props we're going to find are going to be for this top line in Boston, and they're not seeing the minutes. Even in a game they lost 1-0, they did not see the minutes. So, I'm probably going to look to something on the Gensel, Crosby, Russ line.
I like Sid.
Sid's the safest bet, I guess. But
he only had one shot last game, but I think Sid's the guy if you're looking for a shot prop here.
I think honestly, I'm just going to end up with we got 8 games here. I'm probably not even going to take one out of this game, unless there's something that really jumps off the page to me because of the under being so strong, the point prop that ends up being better than expected. But it's just a rough thing. It's a rough scene because all these top guys are still priced this is going to be a good matchup with a lot of scoring, because I don't know. I just don't like it. I might consider taking the under on a Bergeron point or something that would, and I don't feel good about it because he's going to see so many good offensive opportunities that it's just not a good bet. So I don't know. I'm very against this game, just scrapping it and just not worrying about it ruining my night.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that. One other guy I just want to point out is Jason Zucker's been playing pretty well for Pittsburgh. He's turned on the shots as of late. He's like 2,900 in DFS. We're looking for pivots off of Alex Barry Boulay, who we'll get to in a bit. For DFS, you don't have to pivot, obviously, but we'll talk about that. And Zucker's a guy at 2.9 who I think
and
has
that line is getting a ton of run.
Yeah, exactly. So
the power play that they ran was obviously because the Crosby unit got a penalty, but they all actually went out there together for a little bit. But yeah, no, I like that line. I was trying to think someone was tweeting about a nickname for the line because it's we're doing really well. And I thought of the Aaron Carter, I want McCandy line. Am I off the show? Remember Aaron Carter's song, I Want Candy?
I'm sorry.
And it could be, and you know what that candy could be that he wants?
Oh God.
A Zucker. Right?
I
thought of that and I saved it for this podcast, and I didn't even mention it before because I didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah, look, I'm just gonna tender my resignation to Pat Mayo right now, and I'm gonna let you play out the string here. But no, DJ.
Hashtag I want McCandy line.
Oh my God.
Everyone remembers the mid 2000 hit. Right?
Of course. Okay. Staple of my childhood. All right.
Oh God. I'm so glad I got that one together. I almost forgot about it. And then I looked at the hockey biz. I was like, oh yeah, I remember now.
All right. Well, let's go from there into Detroit at Columbus, which as bad as DJ's reference was, this game might actually be worse. So Detroit Columbus 5.5 over under. Columbus a minus 130 or minus 143 favorite, home favorite. But man, like you said, last game was a stay away. This game is a complete stay away for me. These teams both stink out loud. And yeah, neither team seems like they're playing for much of anything. Larkin's done for the year. Columbus is done for the year, just their entire team done for the year. Tortorella ruled all of them out, I think. I don't know. What are you doing with this game? Do you have any leans anywhere at all?
Yes. It's very simple. It don't get crazy. Don't overthink it. Detroit gave up over 50 shots to Dallas. And I know Columbus isn't Dallas. Dallas is playing very well. Dallas is shooting the puck a lot. Columbus is going to get some shots here. And two guys are going to do it. It's Seth Jones and it's Oliver Bjorkstrand. Those are the two. Bjorkstrand is plus 205 to score. I like that. I really like him to score. I really am considering a multi-goal game for Bjorkstrand. I think that he's going to be in a really premier spot. I don't think there's anyone that can match up against him and Roslovic. Roslovic. Right? Roslovic. I said it right the first time. Okay. I don't know why I second thought myself.
Maybe it's. I mean, people say the wrong names all the time for players,
yeah, you're right.
And they're just too polite to correct them.
So in this game, that's it. It's not that difficult. And they're
look,
right in the mid tier. You're just gonna play him. I'm gonna have him in my DFS lineups. I'm gonna have shot props for Bjorkstrand. I'm gonna have goal props for Bjorkstrand. The guy, when he's in, he has. If you look at his past 4 games, 4 shots on goal, 7 shots on goal, 1, 3. He's not playing Tampa anymore. This isn't Tampa anymore. They're at home against Detroit. They just give up 50 shots.
Okay. I will.
Bjorkstrand is a good play. I don't have convince me. Bjorkstrand first goal. Lock it. That's it.
All right.
Lock
DJ's a conviction.
Putting in the money. How much are we putting on it? 100.
I just think you really, you want to tie yourself to a guy who is dependent on Eric Robinson to produce offense. This Columbus team right now is rolling out the line of Domi, Bjorkstrand, and Robinson. And it's just come on. What are we even doing here? I don't know. I'm happy to just move along. But DJ, I do love your conviction. Man. I do love of course.
He's going to be good, first off. Roslovic was with my name. You're right. I messed that up. Yeah. Hopefully they switch it. But the only other thing I was going to say, nah, never mind. I thought Grigorenko was better than
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Okay.
All right. So yeah, if you like DJ's conviction,
Bjorkstrand,
I can
goal.
sign off on that. Let's not the first goal. Let's just do the shot prop. The shot prop I'm okay with. It'll be right around even money.
Okay.
And
well, if you want
Bjorkstrand.
the easy way out, then yeah. But
all like, I do. So we're going over to
fun.
Nope, I want out of this. So we're going
Everyone's
over to
coming to party at my
Chicago.
house. All right, let's go.
Yes, the viewing party for Detroit at Columbus will be at DJ's.
That's the only place to watch it live.
Tampa at Chicago. Tampa on the road,
that?
minus 182. Chicago plus 155. Over under 6.5. To me, this game sort of feels like it's shading toward an under, like a Tampa takes care of business 4-1, 3-0 type game. Patty Kane just hasn't really. He did not show up to that.
6. Where are you seeing 6.5? It's a 6.
Sorry, did I say? Sorry, I meant 6.
Okay, sorry.
Like Patty Kane did not show up for that Nashville series, and it was. That was their season right there. He just didn't really get much done. So I just don't really see where the Chicago goals are coming from. And Tampa's been a team for the entire year, basically, who's been like, we're just trying to take care of our business and get out of here. And this to me seems like the perfect example of that game. So I kind of like the under here. A lot of the underlying metrics are kind of pointing me in that direction as well. So I'll listen. But any thoughts here on the money line or the over under?
I think the under is a fair bet. I kind of think there could be a little more pace that meets the eye, but I do think the under, if it stays at 6, is a good place to start, just because Tampa's really slowed it down. Obviously, their last game, they did end up getting there with the OT win, the 7. It's been all that first line, which is, really promising to see if you've stuck it out like me and been just continuing to stack that line against all odds. Barry Boulet, if you watch that game, by the way, those announcers must have just had first heard Barry Boulet's name and said it 7,000 times. Did you watch the game or no?
I saw pieces of it, but
they just kept saying his name. He scored the power play goal and they just couldn't stop.
But he had Barry 6 shots. So
yeah, well, no, I get another good point. He did have a lot of shots, so I guess they had to say it. But it just felt like I just kept hearing it. Anyways, though, he's 2,700 on DraftKings. What's his ownership going to be? That's the question. One, Matt.
Very high.
Projected.
Yeah, I'm thinking, if you're talking at the weekend, he was upwards of 30-40%. And of course that was against, that was a 3-game slate. So there wasn't really much to work with. But you also got to consider, he had been on a pretty nice roll, but he hadn't had more than 5 DraftKings points, I think, yet in 6 games. And he comes off of a 20-point game in a really good matchup against Chicago. I just think he'll be very, very popular. And you don't need to outright fade, but you just got to be creative in what you're doing. And just making sure you're not really sort of leaving yourself dead if he busts, a lot of the field's going down with him. That's all I'll say. So,
yeah.
There's a lot of other pivots as well. So I don't think you need the full fade, but just make sure you sort of leverage your lineups, appropriately if you are playing him.
Right. And so I think, the one piece that I do really like here, and obviously with him is going to make a lot of sense is Braden Point, though. I feel like I've been beating the drum all year and he's burned me a few times. It's one of those things where he'll go on those heaters where he's shooting the puck a ton. I really like it in this matchup for him to get back on track with it. Tampa, they're still fighting for, the top spots in their division. Obviously, I think that the number 1 spot could be super coveted because you're going to avoid Carolina or Florida. And Tampa needs to get some wins here against Chicago to get back in to cement that spot. I believe they're out of it right now. I think Carolina has it, if I'm not mistaken, by a little bit, right? A couple points. So they're going to really have to figure it out here. And I think leaders like Braden Point are the ones to do it. He's, plus 143 to score. I'm probably not touching that. He could just put himself in that assist role, but I still think he can hit the shot prop because I think there'll be some shots in this game. And the shot prop will be there for sure, 2.5. And I think he hits 3 for, most times on this given night. Do you have any numbers on him or them against Chicago? I'm not sure if you could make that.
I don't have anything off. Oh, the team in general. Yeah, they've performed pretty much as they have, which is pretty good. They've been pretty good against Chicago, good underlying numbers and whatnot. But yeah, it's a good spot. I definitely do like Tampa here. I'm just not sure I see the the massive upside that we saw in that Columbus game.
182. I mean, are you like if you're, I don't know, it seems like just the right bet, but
let's just make sure it's a Vasti game before we rush to make that bet though, because it could be McElhaney and that's all bets are off. So
literally I feel like if it's McElhaney, every time I see it, I just immediately rush for the over, just because he's going to give up goals against, and it just seems like Tampa just like when he's in net, they're like, all right, guys, gotta actually play fun because we gotta score. Yep. So I don't know, but anyways, we can move on. I think that this game, like, there's really not a lot of like underlying value or news or notes that are going to make a big difference in how you're going to be betting on this game. But a game that has a little bit more of that. It's a rematch. Florida losing to Nashville on Monday night. We get them again on Tuesday. Florida still a slight favorite on the road. Drieger got hurt in the game. I'm not sure if the Lions got jumbled or not, but there was a lot of stuff going on. So, Matt, was there anything that you are seeing right now, or were the Lions, did they kind of hold true? I mean, Florida could jumble them again, but we had Vetrano with Barkov and all that. So, and Shari, which I'm sure he didn't stick because he had way less minutes. But
so Vetrano, Barkov did wind up back with Gusev when they were struggling there. But I mean, the key note is the loss of Drieger. Like they brought in Bobrovsky. He'll probably have the start again. Maybe they go to Spencer Knight after a loss. So I think that's one way to look at things. But even in that case, Nashville won on Monday night. But I think on Tuesday night, Florida comes back here. I mean, Florida's been doing it all year. They've been playing really excellent hockey. They dominated this game from start to finish, honestly. I'm pretty sure they outshot them in every period. And they just got UC Saros. Actually, the first period, I guess Nashville did put up a pretty strong showing. But UC Saros definitely won that game for Nashville. 40 shots, 1 goal for Florida. Pecorine probably goes here. Maybe they go back to Saros. But, this is really good value, I think, minus 124 on this Florida side. Let's just roll
get it early because I can't. I mean, if they go back-to-back Saros right now, I mean, even though it looks like they're going to get in the playoffs, they can't burn them out. I mean, I would grab this as soon as you're listening, and I'm sure it's going to get worse, especially when we find out Rene starts. So I definitely agree with that note. Get it early, get it often. Not really seeing any extreme values anywhere. I mean, I think, like I mentioned, Barkov still pretty strong on the shot prop, pretty strong in general. Just a great play overall. Whoever he's with is going to be good. Did you got the power play up from the game? Did they get any?
So I mean, Bennett, Gusev, Huberdeau, Yandel, Barkov. So wait, who came off then? Am I going crazy here? No, that was the power.
I think that was, that sounds right.
Sorry, I completely missed that Hornqvist missed this game.
Oh.
Yeah, wow.
Oh.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Playing the DFS slate, I just missed that, I guess. So that would explain it. I keep an eye on him, I guess. So some late breaking news an hour after the game ends.
Extremely late breaking news. So obviously, like we always mentioned, we have a Discord. If you want to jump in, DM one of us. If you're definitely DFS talk. I mean, you could do a little bit of prop, whatever, but DFS mainly there, and all of the news and notes is going to be there every night. I think we're both on the Florida side here. I slightly fade the over just because I do think it'll be like Bobrovsky, Rene, and Rene is he gave up a hat trick to Sam Gagner, so I mean. I'll never let him live it down. He'll never listen to this, so it doesn't matter. I definitely could see like that scenario where Florida just pumps 4 on him, and they can get it over for sure. So, with all of that being said, is there any other news or notes or players or anything? I know I thought you were in on Yossi maybe, or is there? I'm not sure if.
Yeah, so I mean that's sort of where I'm looking here. It's on the Nashville side, like a little game stack action. Roman Yossi's been great, and I think the pace here will sort of tick up. Obviously, Florida did have 40 freaking shots on goal, but Roman Yossi's been playing really well lately. He's hit the blocks bonus in 4 of his last 5 games if you're looking at DraftKings, and he's taken a lot of shots as well. So I think that he's a guy who, if I'm looking to get a player prop from the Nashville side, I'm taking advantage of him. And mostly in DFS, like we've talked about a lot of value options. There's not a ton that I love in terms of spending my money on this slate. So I think I might sort of go for the luxury spend on defense. And Roman Yossi's, I think, the number one guy there. You pair him with Tolvanen, the power play guy for Nashville. He dominates the shots on the power play. So it's very easy to see a land in which, Yossi hits his bonus, gets a couple assists, and Tolvanen pots a couple on the power play. And then, of course, the Florida side sort of comes roaring back with Barkov and Bennett and friends. So I really like that angle to sort of, go at this game. Sam Bennett on the top power play playing with Huberdeau plus 270 to score. Feels pretty good. He's been on a bit of a tear lately. So I think that offers some good value. And yeah, I think that's all I had from this game. So thank you for the setting that one up for me, DJ.
That's how Yossi does it on the power play with Tolvanen.
That's right.
We'll send it over to the final game of the night, 8:30 if you're on the East Coast. So it's an early night. Carolina at Dallas, a rematch from Monday. We get both the rematches from Monday. A little bit later, the late hammer. I think, to not to speak for you, you kind of turned me on to this going through the numbers. The over seems pretty strong here. Did it hit?
Yeah, yep, they hit 7.
Okay, they had 7. And I think the pace was really there. Shots were really there. I'm back on it again. I guess I slightly lean the Carolina side here. Even though Dallas won, right? Overtime, Jamie Benn.
Yep, right? Jamie Benn, 4-point night, baby.
Yeah. He burned Bernier in his historic game, but doesn't matter. Which we did talk about this, and I always want all of our listeners to hear this really quickly. Only one player on that Saturday game that Dallas had over 50 shots did not have a single registered shot on goal. Matt, please tell the viewers or listeners.
It was our pride and joy, Denis Gurianov. He was the only one. Playmaker, Denis Gurianov.
I mean, I remember because I'm pretty sure on their goal, he kind of shot past it too, but he didn't get the assist either. I don't know. It was really weird, but it doesn't really matter. Irregardless, the only player not to get a shot on goal, that blew my mind.
Mark Pysyk had 4, you mentioned.
Yeah, Mark Pysyk had 4 in 9.5 minutes and a goal. The craziest game. But yeah, back to this one. Definitely like the over here. I the Carolina side slightly. I think they're the better team by a decent margin, and it's on the road. Dallas is hot, so whatever. But minus 124 Florida and Carolina. I think just take both of those. More than that, I mean, I think there's a lot of shot props. There's a lot of other value here. So I'll just let you take it away from there.
Yeah, so I mean, the first place I think I'm going here with Dallas is to Jason Robertson. And of course, he's, manning their top line with Roope Hintz and Joe Pavelski. Obligatory mention for Roope Hintz. You got to check if he's actually playing because of his injury. But Jason Robertson here, I mean, he's just on such a good run of form. He picked up another point on Monday night. He's got points now in his last 9 games, that is. And I mean, that line's just playing incredible hockey. You mentioned Dallas being on a bit of a run right now. Roope Hintz and his friends, Jason Robertson and Joe Pavelski and Miro Heiskanen, are the absolute reason for that. They've been putting up just a ton of offense. So I think that they offer some great value in terms of DFS. And, we've been betting their shot props for a while now. So I think that's sort of, where I'm looking to go here.
Yeah. I just think that, a lot of DFS players are just going to see the back-to-back and just run away from this game. And I just don't really see the reason why. There's some good value here. Some really, really nice correlated pieces. They're going to see a lot of minutes. Both of these teams still playing for a lot, as I mentioned. So I'm down for a little bit of anything. I think that you get the Aho Svechnikov special pretty cheap. So I'm kind of in on all of it. I don't know if I'm going to go full game stack here, but I really, really like the Aho Svechnikov Hamilton stack. Just too cheap. Just doesn't make sense. I know Dallas is not terrible, but come on. So I'm going to be having that. And the over.
I'll give you a little preview for my favorite DFS stacks if you like, because I actually like the second line for Carolina. Necas, Nino, Trocheck. They had great form earlier this year, and they're back together. They each played 22 minutes on Monday night. Carolina's gunning for first in the division. They know that Tampa, Florida, they're going to be tough matchups, so they're going for number 1. And I think that's very, I think that almost proves it. So let's, I sort of like that, but I do love this game just overall. I feel like I will have a lot of shares of these 8 o'clock and 8:30 games in my DFS lineups and stuff. So um, yeah, the other note for for Dallas is just keep an eye on the status of John Klingberg. If he doesn't play, it's honestly just a bump up to Miro Heiskanen. But that is a tough loss for Dallas having no Klingberg. They overcame it, but I think Tuesday that could maybe rear its head.
Yeah. So why don't we get to just all the DFS? And we'll just say some of our favorite stacks again, or favorite bets.
A couple of favorite bets. Yep.
Why I feel like I do that every single time? It's like the end of the year, and I do that every time. Okay.
We're just racing to the finish to get you all of our goodness.
Yes, exactly. So favorite bets. I think that the easiest one is going to be, I really think that Florida to win. I think that's probably my favorite. It actually looks like it's even getting better right now. I mean, I think it's come down a little bit. Minus 117 is what I'm seeing. So like if you get it, like I said, I think it's going to get a lot worse if Saros is confirmed not starting. So
yeah, I definitely agree there. I do like that call. I will go with the Carolina Dallas over. Just get blanket coverage of that game. I think you mentioned it. I don't think I quite signed off on it, but I'm definitely on the over here. I think this is one of the best games of the night pace wise, and I'm just banking on goalies to not put up an absolute brick wall. So give me the over in Carolina Dallas.
Okay, and then
one more.
Bjorkstrand shot prop, just
nice,
easy money. I mean, I do like him to score first. Like don't get mad, but when he scores first, oh man, am I gonna get rained?
Yeah, no, there will be screenshots for sure. All right, give me the Flyers on the money line. Minus 130, kind of same deal as Florida. Like, okay, Flyers aren't Florida, but like, I just think that Philly, even though they're on the road, are just a better team all around than New Jersey. I don't trust any facet of New Jersey. So even though I don't trust Philly, like, I'm just going to bet on talent here. So give me the Flyers money line, just minus 130, great value. So, like we mentioned a lot, we do a full podcast on DFS, the Morning Skate podcast. So be sure to check that out if you like the DFS stuff. But we will give you a couple of our favorite DFS stacks to get you started here. So DJ, did you have one in mind you wanted to call out?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on this one on the Morning Skate pod as like a secondary filler, but like honestly, the more I look at it, I'm thinking about it, the Farabee Konechny Provorov look for Philly. I think it is going to be a little bit, under-owned, and it's really cheap. Farabee, like we mentioned, right now has the best odds to score on the entire game there. I don't know if that's entirely warranted. He hasn't been like the craziest rate shooter in the world, but him, Konechny, and Provorov, I think there's a decent chance they could all hook up on the power play. Their power play was kind of a mess last game. I'm not exactly sure what they were doing, but either way, that line should see some good run. And I think that, Konechny and Farabee have slate breaking ability. So I think that could be a little unique way about going about it and getting some really good, like, mid-tier value.
Yeah. So I think one place, like, obviously we're doing this with the impression that, Barry Boulay will be very popular because he lets you fit in, a lot of the upper price stacks. I think one of the upper price stacks that I actually like a lot that I don't really think will be owned is Pittsburgh 1. Of course, I don't need to tell you why Crosby, Gensel, Rust are good plays, but I just think that they will be under-owned for their relative upside on this slate. They're expensive. Yeah, you're probably going to have to forego some of the, the Roman Yossi's at defense, whatever, if you want to play them. But I do think that, they could easily be the team, it'd be the line that has, 3-4 goals in them. And, it doesn't matter what D-men you have. You just get some guys who get you some points, and you have a slate winner right there. So give me Pittsburgh 1 as sort of like my flag plant expensive stack.
Yeah, the other stack I'm going to go with, so being as it's a back-to-back, we're not probably going to get a morning skate from Florida, Nashville. So why don't we kind of use the information we have? It is a later game at 8 o'clock, so definitely you're going to want to put one of these guys in your flex spot, as I mentioned quite often. But, Barkov and Gusev got back together. A lot of people might not have it. DFO might not have it. So let's try to use this to our advantage. They're both on the power play together. They're both on the line together. Barkov and Gusev. You could, put Gandil there and hope the power play gets going. Gandil, if you look at his game logs, it is a pendulum. It is, 5 shots on goal, 2 assists, and then it's 8 minutes and 0 shots. So you never know what you're going to get out of him. So you can put him in if you want. If not, you can still put Frankie V in there. It's not correlated on the power play, but hopefully they stick together. You're going to get a very, very good chance at getting 8 to 10 shots on goal from that line. And if they get a couple points, it could really be the slate winner. I think that's the way I'm looking at it. In GPP, where you're going for the win, that's a winner. That's a winning line. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think Florida offers a lot of possible combinations, and keep an eye on Hornqvist, like we mentioned. So
if he's in, obviously, then
I will stick. But... I mean, of course, I already mentioned this, but I will stick to my Carolina 2, Nachas, Trocheck, and Nino Niederreiter. Nachas and Nino are just far too cheap, and Trocheck's a bit pricey, but you're not killing for the money. And Trocheck, he's a good shooter. So it's not like he's the guy who you're sort of like, oh, he's going to get one shot and a couple of assists. Like, he's usually the guy who profiles as the shooter. He's also on the top power play. So I just think that, if there's one guy you wanted to spend up for in a stack, it's a guy who sort of fits the mold of Vinny Trocheck. And then you sort of fill in the line mates with them who are cheaper, but have, ample upside, really good offensive profiles, despite their second power play time. So
he's, a nice 6,900 price.
That's
Carolina has 69 points and they made the playoffs. I don't know. I'm not.
That's all very nice, DJ.
Thank you. No, I definitely like the play. I mean, if you would have told me Vinny Trocheck's a point per game player, I would have been like, really? But he is 39 points, 39 games. I mean, he's really been an amazing ad by them. In addition, I wanted the Sabres to get. Of course, they didn't. They never do. Okay, that's it.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. So we didn't mention goalies. UC Saros.
Oh, yeah.
If he starts again, you just have to play him, right? Everyone and their mother played him on Monday night, and it worked. So, why not? He should see a bunch of shots if he somehow gets to start again, which, I mean, maybe he does. He's on such a run right now. But I mean, I
think if you're feeling extra risky, you're either playing Luukkonen or Bernier. I think that, if Bernier's in, I think it's a pretty strong play.
Yeah.
Bernier, like I said in another podcast, on the 12th of April, he won a game against Carolina with 37 saves, 1 goal against. He had 31.4 DraftKings points. Against Dallas, he lost in overtime. With 50 saves, he had 33 points on DraftKings with a lot. I mean, that's just kind of, I don't think he's going to get 50 freaking saves against Columbus.
Yeah.
But I think he could get a mid-upper 30s. And if he gets that 35-point bonus in the win, he's the GPP winner. So again, I get a little risky. So if Bernier's in net, I do like Bjorkstrand. I'm not even saying you can't play Bjorkstrand against him. Don't call me crazy. Don't call me nuts, but I would do it.
DJ, you're nuts.
Don't get me back to the McCandy line. Don't do it. Okay.
God. All right. Yeah, we will get on out of here. Big thanks to PrizePicks, the sponsor of the show. Be sure you head on over to prizepicks.com. Use promo code MMN when you sign up. You can follow me on Twitter. I am at Fake Moods. DJ's at DJ_Mitchell94. And follow the Mayo Media Network at Mayo Media Net. DJ, we all set to go?
I think we're good to go. Everything sounds good. PrizePicks. I'm telling you right now, this is all you got to do. Just even if you do it alone, get a good amount of soda pops or beers and watch the Frisbee golf and just sweat it out and just tilt some Eagle McMahon. I mean,
Eagle McMahon, baby. I mean, what a perfect name for a golfer, Eagle McMahon.
Except he went to the Frisbees instead, and he found his niche. And you know what? Right. We have to respect him.
All right. So best of luck out there on this NHL slate, or if you're brave like DJ, on this disc golf slate. So good luck on Tuesday, everyone. We will see you.